Hey friends, it's Jen, and today we are talking about one of my favorite things to enjoy at this time of the year, and that is the magic of believing. I enjoyed it as a child, and I think I enjoy it even more as an adult. There is just this extra sparkle in the air at Christmas. Lights on porches, kids watching the sky, families coming together, generosity overflowing, and it's not just a nostalgia feeling. Our day to day is infused with the magic of believing, generosity, and gratitude. And for a few weeks each year, millions of us agree, consciously or not, to expect good things. We practice wonder and we make room for the impossible. Today, we're going to lean into that energy and talk about ways to keep the magic of believing alive all year long for your manifestations, your money goals, your lifestyle vision, the business you're building, the relationships you're calling in. Grab a cozy drink if you can. Let's make this your personal permission slip to believe bigger as we head into the new year. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast, the show where we tackle the taboo topics of money and manifestation. I'm your host, Jenny Schultz, former 9-to-5 grinder who ditched the status quo and went all in on creating a life I love. Yes, I use manifestation. Yes, I took action. And yes, I created a 7-figure net worth before turning 40. Every week, I'll bring you inspiring stories with money mavens and manifestation masters. From learning how to make more, save more, and grow your wealth to unlocking the power of manifesting your dream life. I am so excited to play in this space with you. Let's jump into creating a life you love. Welcome to the Manifestation and Money Podcast. Today, we're talking about Christmas magic. And I can literally see the extra sparkle when I look into my kids' eyes this week. The mix of joy, of expectation and surprise. There are so many elements at work. I even checked my kids out of school a few days early last week. We've had lots of time for puzzles and board games. We attended our annual Griswold Christmas party, which is hilarious. If you've seen the movie, you just know what the party's like. The kids have been nibbling away at the homemade advent calendar that Nana lovingly stocks for them each year. They've been staying up late watching Christmas movies. And they are definitely enjoying mystery boxes with bows around the Christmas tree. So it's a magical time of year. It feels special. And there are so many parallels that I see with this Christmas spirit and manifestation. Today, I want to share what I'm noticing. And I just want to talk about a few ways that we can bottle up this magical essence and carry it with us through to the new year. I promise I'll keep it short and sweet today. In December, a few things happen. Collectively, we have a shared focus. So many people are focused on joy, giving, and anticipation. And that collective focus lifts our individual focus and it takes the spotlight off of us. There are rituals everywhere. We've got trees, candles, music, countdowns. And for us, it includes the tradition of gingerbread cookie making around Nana's table. And rituals anchor in the belief for us in the physical world. They're cues that tell your brain something good is coming. Year after year, we build in that expectation, we do this thing, and we know what the result is likely going to be. And that brings me to expectancy. We plan surprises, we wrap gifts, we set our decor a certain way, we decorate a tree, we buy special foods that we don't typically buy throughout the year, we book travel to see loved ones. So we expect good things to arrive on time. And expectancy is a belief amplifier. And with that expectancy, we take action on the items on our to-do list. And at this time of the year, our to-do list is usually pretty big. All of these things make December feel magical. And Christmas magic and manifestation thrive on the same certain ingredients. We've got to focus on what we want, an expectancy, and action. If you ever wonder why things feel easier in December, and I'm not saying easier as in simpler, I'm saying easier in typically we can fit in way more things on our to-do list, way more tasks that we have to do, way more events that we have to show up for. We fit so much into December, but our environment is supporting that. We've got all of those things that I just talked about collectively keeping us in this energetic state that we are going to make things happen. So let's talk about a few ways we can bottle up the magic of believing. And I'm not talking about Christmas here for the rest of the 11 months of the year, but annually, how can we bottle up the big dreams and goals that we're going for? So starting with that simple, often overlooked thing I just mentioned, a big part of it comes down to our environment. In December, our environment is infused with Christmas. Everywhere you go, there are signs of Christmas. When we flip to the rest of the year, I want you to think about ways that you can infuse your environment to set yourself up for success for 12 months of the year. And that starts with the intention of, what do you want? What big, cool things are you moving towards in 2026? Or another way of looking at it is, what are you letting go of in 2026? If you're not super clear on stuff, I've got an episode coming out in a few weeks, which I'll link to in the show notes to help you really get clear on what you want. But once you know what you want, then you can set yourself up for the success with your big goals and manifestations by leaving yourself environmental focal points of what you want. And this can be visual things like vision boards, inspiring quotes, or affirmations put in places around your personal spaces. And it can also be audio things like making an inspiring playlist that fits the vibe of what you're going for. Maybe that's a study playlist that you listen to as you prep for a big exam, or a meditation playlist to lean into a more centered year, an exercise playlist if your focus is on health. Maybe it's a high energy house cleaning jam or a curated podcast list for when you're folding the laundry. Set yourself up for success by creating an environment that is supportive of your goals. When you think of the things that you want in the next 12 months, sit in the space where you mostly hang out and brainstorm the ways to improve your environment. Because maybe it's a tidy and purge of old things in that space that allow you the room to grow and put your focus on what you actually want, less distractions. Maybe sitting in that space, you mindlessly have the habit of scrolling on social media, and you know that that isn't serving you moving forward. If that's the case, consider deleting social media off your phone and saving it for a tablet or a desktop where you can still access it, but it breaks the habit of the mindless connection to it. Something that I'm in the process of doing right now is unsubscribing from email lists that no longer serve me. I have been getting so many emails daily that A, I can't keep track of the ones I want to look at. B, I'm wasting time daily deleting emails without even opening them because I'm not interested in them. And C, I get distracted being pulled down different rabbit holes unintentionally when I go in intentionally looking for something. So they're distractions. And I don't know if your inbox is like that, but I'm sure you have an area of your life where the vibe is like that. Maybe it's a random corner of your house or a specific junk drawer that you maybe just need to tidy and get rid of what is no longer serving you there so that when you use that space or go into that space, the focus is on just what you want to actually have in that space. And I can't talk about environment without nudging you to take a look at your relationships and connections and know that you have power in curating connections and communities that support you in moving towards your goals. Let's touch a bit more on rituals and tools. I briefly mentioned things like vision boards, inspiring quotes, affirmations, and energetic playlists. But journaling can also be a wonderful tool to not only get you clear on what you really want, but to really dig into sticky points that might be bogging you down. And if you've never really played around with journaling, I suggest trying it on, either with guided prompts. I'll give you a few in a moment to try, or you can just try freestyle about whatever is on your mind. Journaling can be the secret sauce to help you gain clarity and get powerful intuitive downloads. Now, note, any type of rituals or routines that I talk about on the show are simply suggested tools to connect you with your manifestations. Ideally, they get you the results you want faster and easier, but not all tools will work for everyone. It's a fact. And it's okay to try out some tools and then just keep the practices that work best for you. If you try one and it doesn't sit well with you, try something different, okay? A very simplified example that I like to think of to put this into perspective is if I were to put a bowl of rice in front of you and give you three options for utensils, a fork, a spoon, or chopsticks. Technically, all three are tools that will work to feed you, but it is up to you to decide which one works best for you. Think of that when you're trying on different techniques for your manifestations or goal practice. Not all things that will work for me will work for you, and vice versa. I suggest starting with what feels best for you, or starting with the tool that excites you in an inspiring way. Pick that to start and then layer in more or delete some as you go. Here's a journaling prompt I'm suggesting you try, but if you intuitively have a reframe for it that you think would serve you better, use it. A helpful prompt for the theme we're talking about today is, What parts of my environment are setting me up for success? What parts could I improve? And what parts should I let go of or walk away from? So sit with that for a bit. It doesn't have to be now, but just percolate on that and notice what kind of things you're noticing about your environment that you should make subtle shifts in. I've got one more tool to share that can help strengthen our beliefs and our goals throughout the year, and it is to keep a mini evidence journal. And in this little evidence journal, all you do is jot down three, uh, and I say three loosely. Pick the number that works for you. So I jot down three small pieces of evidence that show up for me. And when I do this, I'm looking for evidence of the universe showing up in my favor as I take action towards my goals. And that doesn't mean that the evidence is always directly linked to the goal specifically. I'm just jotting down all of the evidence that things are working in my favor. It's things like the front row parking spot I get, an unexpected compliment, a new business inquiry, a solved problem, additional money, and especially if it's just a simple coin on my path. So keep this exercise light and fun and sprinkle in some gratitude as the evidence shows up for you. By noticing the evidence around you, that helps you firm up your belief that things are working in favor for you. And a big piece of manifestation is holding belief that you can have the thing that you desire. So I've kept this episode short and sweet today so you and I can both go lean into our holiday traditions, or if you want to sit with those journaling prompts. I know that if we intentionally make a 1% shift daily towards more joy and more love, especially self-love, that your life can only get better and better and better. From my family here in wintry northern BC, Canada, to yours, we wish you a happy holiday. And carrying on the theme of this podcast episode, may this wish be carried with you throughout the year to whatever day of the year that this podcast finds you. I hope you have a very merry morning, afternoon, or evening. I'll see you here again next week. Cheers to creating a life you love. Thank you for hanging out with me on the Manifestation and Money podcast. If you're ready to take your manifesting to the next level, come join me inside the Manifestation Playground. It's an intentional space I've created to explore, experiment, and expand your manifestation potential. It's where the magic happens. So head on over to www.manifestationplayground.ca to find out more. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep taking aligned action. Cheers to creating a life you love.